You got a promotion at 29. Your rent jumped $400. You leased a nicer car, and you started getting artisanal coffee every morning. Yet your savings stayed exactly the same, $0. People who upgrade their lifestyle within 6 months of a raise increase spending by about $650 a month, but add less than $50 to investments. That's not progress. It's a wealth speed trap disguised as success, and it's probably happening to you right now. This isn't a character flaw. It's a pattern that fools disciplined people. You're not the only one who's optimized the wrong things. Productivity without strategy looks like financial competence while doing nothing for your net worth. Smart people follow rules that sound responsible. Track expenses, cancel a subscription, meal prep. But those rules only protect the present self. They don't grow future wealth. Before we name the habits, know this. The fault is structural and psychological, not moral. That's important because if this were about willpower, you'd already be fixed. What's happening under the surface isn't about spreadsheets or willpower. It's about identity and emotional shortcuts your brain uses to avoid scarcity and guilt. You think of money as permission to be seen, to avoid FOMO, to belong. So when your salary goes up, your lifestyle expands to match the picture of who you think you've become. That's identity creep. Your habits then act like scaffolding for that new identity. Better coffee, gym class, smarter wardrobe. Each purchase tells your brain, you made it, and reduces the cognitive dissonance between your old self and this upgraded image. It's subtle, it feels earned, and it's exactly what keeps the savings rate pinned to the floor. There's another invisible loop that keeps you busy, the busy budgeting ritual. It looks responsible. You obsess over cutting Netflix subscriptions, you optimize grocery bargains, you time your bill payments exactly, and you spend hours on apps tracking micro savings. You feel productive. You post about being disciplined. But while you optimize pennies, nothing moves on the investment side. Income and asset growth are what create wealth, not marginal trimming. This is the lifestyle finance tension, living well now versus building assets that let you live freely later. The rituals soothe anxiety. They rarely change net worth. Let me give you a concrete micro-story so this lands. I coached someone, call her Maya, who saved obsessively on groceries and used every coupon. She shaved $150 a month on food, which felt like mastery. At the same time, she leased a new car and moved to a pricier neighborhood because she deserved it after a promotion. Her net worth didn't budge. The grocery wins were real, but irrelevant compared to the cost of the lease and rent. Seeing that one number, net worth, reprogrammed her priorities. She reallocated the mental energy she spent on couponing toward negotiating her lease and investing the monthly savings. Within a year, her net worth grew more than the previous 3 combined. Then there's what I call the fake investment loop. You buy a $2,000 course promising passive income, a high-ticket coaching program, or an expensive business toolkit with no customer pipeline. You brand it investing in yourself, which feels noble, but without revenue or measurable progress, it's just a new subscription. It keeps you busy learning and consuming while your actual asset base, savings, investments, equity, stays stagnant. You're doing the work without building equity. Finally, debt routines can masquerade as discipline. You pay minimums, shift balances, refinance, and refinance again. You feel like you're managing debt because you made a payment, but compound interest still eats your progress. Reactive impulse budgeting, paying bills first and saving whatever's left, guarantees the leftover will be zero. That's not budgeting. It's budgeting by accident. So where does the root live? It's your money identity and the math you refuse to make personal. When income rises, your identity updates faster than your balance sheet. When something makes you feel successful, you reward it. The brain prefers immediate identity upgrades over abstract future freedom, like a nicer apartment, over abstract future freedom, like diversified index funds. That preference is what financial psychology calls temporal discounting. You value a present boost more than future gains. Combine that with social comparison and the infinite scroll of curated lives, and you have a recipe for being busy, but not wealthy. Now let's stop theorizing and get practical. Here are 5 tactical steps to break the loop and put your energy toward real wealth building, not busy work. Set 1 forward-first rule. Pay future you before present you. Automate 20% of every paycheck into investments or savings before you see the rest. If 20% feels extreme, start at 10% and increase 1% every 3 months or after each raise. Make this automatic so it can bypass temptation. Example, if you earn $4,000 monthly, route $800 directly to a broad market index fund or a high-yield savings account for short-term goals, then live on the remaining $3,200. Create an asset-first hierarchy, not a budget. Rank where your money should go each month: taxes, retirement, emergency fund, high-interest debt, investments, lifestyle. Treat lifestyle as the last bucket, not the default. Use exact targets: 15% retirement, 401k or IRA, 6 to 12 months of expenses for your emergency fund, or 3 months if you have stable income, then 3 times minimum payments to attack debts above 6% APR, then 10% to taxable investments. These numbers pull you out of reactive budgeting into proactive investments. Institutionalize a 1-year upgrade rule to stop lifestyle creep. When you get a raise or windfall, don't upgrade immediately. Allocate 50% of the change to investments, 30% to debt repayment or goals, and 20% for lifestyle upgrades. Example, a $500 a month raise becomes $250 to investments, $150 to extra debt payment or savings, $100 to discretionary upgrades. This keeps the new income working for you instead of disappearing into new habits. Replace busy learning with proof-based investing. If you're tempted by a course or mastermind, require a 2-step test. A, show how this expense creates measurable revenue or skills used within 90 days. And B, set a pilot budget of no more than 10% of your emergency fund to test it. If no results within 90 days, pause further spending. This builds discipline and prevents the fake investment loop. Run a monthly net worth minute. Once per month, spend 10 minutes updating one number, your net worth, assets minus liabilities. No deep analysis, just the headline. Watch your net worth monthly shifts focus from bill shaving to asset building. If net worth declines, you'll see it immediately and fix course. If it grows, you'll get a motivational feedback loop that trumps curated lifestyle dopamine. These steps are actionable and specific, but no system survives until you accept that slips will happen. So here's the recovery playbook: how to get back on track without shame. First, don't panic. Wealth isn't a binary on-off switch. If you temporarily fall off the plan, overspend, take a loan, miss an investment, treat it like collateral damage, not identity damage. Log the mistake in one line: what happened, why, and what you'll do differently next pay cycle. Then apply a 3-step fix within 30 days. 1. Rebuild your automation. Restart the automatic 10 to 20% flow. 2. Do a 2-paycheck austerity sprint. Redirect discretionary spending for 2 paychecks to rebuild the emergency buffer. 3. Reassess one rule. Was the slip caused by liquidity, impulse, or identity? If liquidity, increase emergency fund targets. If impulse, add friction, cooling off period. If identity, rerun the 1-year upgrade allocation for how you'll spend future raises. Second, use small, non-punitive nudges instead of harsh cuts. For example, freeze recurring subscriptions for 30 days rather than cancel everything. Pause the habit, test whether you miss it. This prevents rebound spending and reduces cognitive load. Third, lean on social structures for accountability. Tell one person, a friend or partner, exactly what your forward first rule is and ask them to check in monthly. That's one simple social lever that beats spreadsheets because humans respond to social commitments better than spreadsheets. Fourth, a recovery example. Imagine you overspent on a vacation and your automated investment failed to process. Within a week, you can do a micro repair. Reverse a non-essential monthly subscription, freeing $40. Pause one discretionary service for 60 days, freeing $80, and transfer that $120 to reboot the missed investment. It's small, but it preserves momentum and signals to your brain that recovery is immediate and manageable. Before we close, tell me, which identity upgrade do you chase most? Better apartment, nicer wardrobe, or the I appear successful lifestyle? And how much would you need to move to an investment instead? Comment below with the dollar amount and the upgrade. You're not fixing a spreadsheet. You're redesigning a relationship with money. The goal isn't deprivation. It's freedom. The ability to choose without anxiety, to take risks that matter, and to live on your terms. With a forward-first rule, an asset-first hierarchy, and simple recovery tools, you stop being busy and start building. Your future self will thank you, not in vague feels, but in time, choices, and real options. Do one thing tonight. Set up an automatic transfer for at least 10% of your next paycheck into an investment or high-yield savings account. Make it invisible. Make the future you the primary beneficiary. If this helped you see your own money habits a little more clearly, subscribe to this channel. We break down exactly this, the psychology and the system behind real wealth every single day. I'll see you in the next one.